Good day, dear teachers, parents, and students. Welcome back to Valenzuela City Facebook Live in Grade 7 Mathematics. We are now in the first week of the last quarter for the school year 2020-2021. Before we start, make sure you have your pen, notebook, and your self-learning module ready. At the end of our discussion, you should be able to pose real-life problems that can be solved by statistics and formulate simple statistical instruments. Are you ready? Let's begin. Let us watch this short video.
Bloop. See that? That's you. And you have the measles. And those dots around you, they have zero protection against the virus. Science tells us eventually you will infect upwards of 15 other dots, thanks to something known as an R naught. Yep, R naught, a fancy term that tells you how contagious a disease is. The R naught of measles, around 15. The R naught of smallpox, 6. Both are very contagious, but measles remains rare, and no one gets smallpox anymore. Credit the rise of vaccinations, an effective shield against contagion. Maybe a few dots received one, maybe that one didn't. But see what it does to the spread? Now let's take the new coronavirus. Its R naught of 2 or 3 suggests it's not as harmful. But as of now, no one has protection. There is no vaccine. So you and your dot could infect 2 or 3. And those 2 or 3 could infect 4 or 5. And so on and so on. In the US, the number of cases is doubling every 3 days. A true case of exponential growth. But let's say you decide to social distance and only infect 1, not 2 or 3. Your neighbor doesn't go to work. Your coworker doesn't hit the park. A stranger stays home. Infections can still happen, but the odds of any one dot infecting 2 or 3 others decreases thanks to distance. The contagion slows. Exponential growth turns into linear growth, if not this. Until there is an effective treatment or a vaccine, physical distancing represents the best odds, say infectious disease experts, one by one, connecting the dots by doing nothing more than disconnecting them.
This video shows the spread of coronavirus disease during the first stage of the surge. According to statistics, the spread of coronavirus disease spreads and grows exponentially in the first stage of the pandemic. And from the record of the World Health Organization starting January 22, 2020 up to April 26, 2021, the total number of people infected with COVID-19 has reached 162,532,756. And thanks to statistics. Because of it, the World Health Organization has collected and recorded the data in an efficient and precise way. For this lesson, we will be tackling Introduction to Statistics. Do you know what is statistics? Statistics is a group of methods that are used to collect, organize, present, analyze, and interpret data to make conclusions. Statistics is all about data. First, it is a process of data collection. We can collect data through surveys, performing an experiment, and recording of data during the experiment. You can also collect data through observations. And once you have the data, that is the time that we will organize your data. We can organize your data by listing it in order, from least to greatest or vice versa, or by making a tally chart or a frequency table. After we organize our data, the next procedure is to present it. It can be done using a tabular presentation or by graphical presentation like pictograph, bar graph, histogram, line graph, or in a pie graph. After presenting our data, we will now analyze it for us to make conclusions and generalizations. And lastly, we will now interpret our data. It is a process of assigning a meaning to the information analyzed and determine its significance and implications. Let us now talk about the importance and applications of statistics in the real-life situations. Did you know that statistics plays an important role in our educational system? In education, it is frequently used in describing test results. With this, we as teachers and our officials in the Department of Education helps us in the reconstruction and in standardization of the tests as well as using them properly. In other field, statistics is commonly used in weather forecast, mostly used in the pandemic that we are facing today caused by the coronavirus disease. Also, it is used in gathering election results, in finding the number of voters, and so on. Statistics is divided into two areas. The first one is the descriptive statistics. It is concerned with describing the characteristics and properties of a group of person, places, or things. From the word itself, it refers in getting the data and making a conclusion about it. For example, we were asked about the number of visitors who went to Polo National High School in the month of April. We can easily gather our data by looking in the school record and we can easily make a graph about it, just like this. Remember that descriptive statistics involves gathering, organizing, presenting, and describing the data. The second area of statistics is the inferential statistics. It is used to draw inferences or information about the properties or characteristics by a large group of people, places, or things based on the information of the small portion of a large group. For example, the students at Polo National High School were asked about their favorite music band. Since Polo National High School is one of the big schools in Valenzuela, we can only select group of students to represent all of the students. Because if we will ask all of the students, it will be too complicated for the researcher to collect all the data. And that is how inferential statistics works. We are only getting some people from the large group and we will make our inferences and conclusions from the data coming from the smaller group. Let us now define the different terms used in statistics. Let us define some terms by playing 4 picks, 1 word. Are you ready? Let us start. Our first term is represented by these 4 pictures. The first picture is this. Next picture. The third picture. And for the last one. Now, what do you think is our first word? If you already know the answer, you may comment it in our comment box. Let's reveal our first word. The answer is population. Population in statistics refers to the set of individuals, objects, or events whose properties are to be analyzed. It talks about the complete collection of elements. For example, in the school, if we refer to the students, that means our population refers to all students in that particular school. Not only on a certain grade level, rather all of the students, and that is a population. Let us now go to the next word. Our first picture is this. Next picture. The third picture. And the last one. Do you already have an idea about our second word? Very good. Our second word is sample. In statistics, Sample is a subset of a population, meaning it is only a small group from the population. For example, if our population are the students of a certain school, and if we select the group of grade 7 students only, then we can call the grade 7 students as the sample of the population. Let us now move to our third word, represented by these 4 pictures. The first one, next picture, the third picture, and the last one. What do you think is the word? Very good. Our third word is data. Data is a collection of facts such as numbers, words, measurements, observations, or just a description of things. It is the raw information from which statistics are created. Our next term is the variable. It is a characteristic about each individual element of a population or sample, a parameter that is likely to change. In statistics, these are what we are studying. It can be measurable, countable, or categorized. When we talk about how people can have different height, weight, hair color, those are all variables. Variables also represent the characteristic of what we are trying to study, and they can vary among different individuals. We also have parameter. These are data obtained about population, or these are numbers that summarizes data of an entire population. Next term is the constant. It is a parameter that does not change. Simply, in statistics, this refers to something that is not variable. And for the last term, is statistics. If in parameter, we summarize the data of an entire population, in statistics, we only summarize the data from the sample. Let us have an example using the different terms in statistics by applying it in the real-life situation. The first problem. A school principal wants to know the average grade of grade 7 students in the mathematics subject. Let's start with the population. Our population here are all of the grade 7 students in a certain school. For our sample, we can select 90 students only. The variable in this problem is the grade of grade 7 students in mathematics. Then, the data will be the set of grades of the grade 7 students. The parameter in this problem is the average grade of all grade 7 students in that certain school. Remember that a parameter summarizes all the data in the population. And the last one is the statistics. In this problem, the statistic will be the average grade of grade 7 students from the sample. Are you getting it? Let us have another problem. Mayor Rex Gatchalian is interested in knowing the average age of people who were vaccinated against COVID-19 in his community. At this time, if you already know the answer, you may use the comment box to comment your answers. In this problem, the population are the Valenzuelanos who were vaccinated against COVID-19. For our sample, we can select the Valenzuelanos who were vaccinated in District 1. What do you think is the variable? Well, this will be the age of Valenzuelanos who were vaccinated against COVID-19. How about the data? In this case, The data will be the set of age of Valenzuelanos who were vaccinated. Next, what do you think is the parameter? The parameter is the average age of all Valenzuelanos who were vaccinated against COVID-19. And lastly, the statistic in this problem is the average age of Valenzuelanos who were vaccinated from our sample. If you are still with me, kindly click the Love React button. Alright, let us now move on to the different types of data. The first one is the qualitative data. From the word itself, it is about the quality, simply a descriptive information. For example, the gender, hair color, and the degree of hotness or coldness. When we say the degree of hotness or coldness, it is not the temperature itself, rather, the category of hotness or coldness. Another type of data is the quantitative data. These are the data that are measured in numbers. It deals with numbers that make sense to perform arithmetic calculations with. For example, age of students, general average grade of students, and students' studying hours, and so on. Now, let us have our activity number 1. You will just simply determine if the given data are qualitative or quantitative. You will click the Like React button if it is a qualitative data, and the Love React button if it is a quantitative data. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 1. The brand of smartphones. Is it qualitative or quantitative? Very good. This is an example of a qualitative data. Number 2. Temperature in Valenzuela City at 12 noon. Is it qualitative or quantitative? Alright, this is an example of a quantitative data as it will give us measurement. For the third item, the height of grade 7 students. Is it qualitative or quantitative? Very good. This is a quantitative data as it will also give us measurements. Another, grade 7 students' favorite subject. Is it qualitative or quantitative? Very good. This is an example of qualitative data. For the last item, the total number of vaccinated Valenzuelanos against COVID-19. Is it qualitative or quantitative? Amazing! This is a quantitative data as it will give us a numerical value. I hope that you are all getting it. Let us now proceed with the different types of qualitative data. The first one is the nominal variable. It categorizes, describes, or names an elements of a population. The variable is said to be nominal if there is no logical ordering to the values of a variable. For example, the hair color and the blood type. We don't normally categorize hair color and the blood type of any individuals. The second type of qualitative data is the ordinal variable. It incorporates an ordered position or ranking. From the word itself, there is a logical ordering to the values of a variable. For example, the socioeconomic status and the level of education. This includes the primary level, secondary, and the tertiary level. We also have the two types of quantitative data. The first one is the discrete data. It is the data obtained through counting. This also refers to the variables that can only be measured in a certain number. For example, the age of students and the number of students in Valenzuela City. According to the data in Valenzuela, there were about 130,000 students enrolled in elementary and secondary for the school year 2020-2021, in which we cannot have a data of 130,000.5 because there is no person counted as half. In contrast, we have the continuous data. It is the data obtained through results of measurements. Also, it refers to the variables that can take any numerical value. For example, the room temperature, the height and weight of a person. Now, let us try to identify if the given data is discrete or continuous. Hit the like react button if the given is discrete and click the love react button if it is continuous. Let's begin. The first one, the weight of a newborn child. Is it discrete or continuous? Very good. This is an example of a continuous data. Next item, the total number of patients infected with COVID-19. Is it discrete or continuous? Very good. This is an example of a discrete data as we are talking about the number of people. Third item, number of students attending online class. Is it discrete or continuous? Very good. This is also a discrete data as we are talking about the number of students. Another one, average temperature in Metro Manila. Is it discrete or continuous? Alright, this is an example of continuous data as this is a result of a measurement. For the last item, the speed of internet connection. Is it discrete or continuous? Alright, this is also an example of continuous data as this is also a result of measurement. Since almost all of you got it all correctly, let me share you something. Hashtag SKL. Let us watch this short video.
Safe, effective COVID-19 vaccines will offer protection against the virus, helping to prevent death and serious illness. But how do they actually work? Like other vaccines, such as the flu shot, COVID-19 vaccines will be given with a needle. This triggers an immune response in the body, which is the body's natural way of defending itself. The vaccine will strengthen your immune system by training it to recognise and fight against the virus that causes COVID-19. Vaccines may contain either killed or weakened versions of the virus that causes the disease, or a small part of the virus, such as a protein. There is no risk that you will get the disease from a vaccine. When your immune system recognises this virus or parts of it in the vaccine as being foreign, it responds by creating memory cells and antibodies that will protect you against future infection or disease. As a result, you'll be less likely to have severe COVID-19 symptoms after a vaccination. To learn more, visit health.gov.au.
Nowadays, many people are getting vaccinated against COVID-19, and it is a good thing as it will help us to protect ourselves from the said virus. With these vaccines, Pulse Asia conducted face-to-face interviews with 2,400 Filipinos in age 18 years old and above. The survey was about the Filipinos' preferred vaccines against COVID-19. The Pulse Asia report said that among Filipinos adults inclined to get a COVID-19 vaccine, 52% choose the vaccine developed by Pfizer. Only 22% of the respondents favored the vaccine developed by Chinese drug maker Sinovac. Other COVID-19 vaccines preferred by at least 1% of those willing to get vaccinated against the disease are those made by the AstraZeneca, 6%, Gamaleya Research Institute, 3%, Johnson & Johnson, 1%, Sinopharm, 1%, and Moderna, 1%. From the survey of Pulse Asia, let us identify each term that we learned earlier. The population in this survey were all of the Filipinos aged 18 years old and above. What do you think is the sample? From the survey, it is stated that they conducted face-to-face interviews with 2,400 Filipinos aged 18 years old and above. How about the variable? The variable will be the preferred vaccine of Filipinos aged 18 years old and above. What do you think is the data? In this problem, the data is the set of vaccines against COVID-19. What do you think is the type of data that was used in this survey? Very good. It is a qualitative data. What type of qualitative data is it? Alright, since there is no logical ordering, then it is a nominal variable. How about the parameter? In this survey, the parameter is the preferred vaccine of all Filipinos aged 18 years old and above. And the statistic in this study will be the preferred vaccine of 2,400 Filipinos aged 18 years old and above. Alright, I hope that you understand our lesson very well. Let us now proceed to our question and answer portion. You may comment your questions in our comment box and our moderator will try to collect your questions. One question from our comment box is, why is there a need to study statistics? Okay, let me compose my answer. Well, statistics is a basic tool of analysis, and one must be familiar with statistical concepts in order to understand analytical efforts. Also, statistics provide efficient and precise way of describing real-life phenomena like the pandemic that we are facing today. It seems that there are no other questions from our comment box. But if you still have questions in your mind, you may ask your subject teacher during your follow-up discussion tomorrow. For your home learning task, answer, try this, and keep trying on What's More part, page 5 of your SLM in Mathematics 7. This will be checked by your mathematics teacher. According to William Paul Thunderson, mathematics is not about numbers, equations, computations, or algorithms. It is about understanding. Again, I am Miss Chen T. Silverio, your live streaming teacher from Polo National High School. I'll see you once again soon. Take care and stay safe.